The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Brought to you by Nadex.
Let's go to Scott in Colorado Springs. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing great, man.
I want to thank you for bringing this Nadex platform to our attention.
Oh, cool.
It's one of the most powerful things that I've seen.
Yeah, it is certainly a platform that not only is neat, but what's so sweet about it, folks, if you haven't tried it out yet, is that when you put your trade on, that is your stop. So what happens is this. Everyone's excuses all the time is that I moved my stop, I didn't put my stop. Well, that is your stop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's perfect. You can set your trades and go do something else.
Now, Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes.
And Darrell Martin.
That's right.
Welcome.
We got to update that intro.
We're definitely going to update that intro, man. No doubt. Darrell Martin, Steve Rhodes, Tom O'Brien. We appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us, folks. We have the Dow right now down 130. Nasdaq off 43. S&P's off 19. You get gold up $6. Silver's up 36 cents. Bonds are up a full buck. King dollar. Nothing like King dollar. King dollar moves a few ticks and the market takes conniptions. Forget the fiscal cliff, folks. It's all about King dollar. And if you haven't test drove, folks, the Nadex platform, come over to our website at tfnn.com. You can see the Nadex banner on the top, on the side. You can test drive it right here, right now. They'll put $25,000 worth of funny money in there. If you've been test driving it, well, guess what? You can put an E-Trek in there, get it up and going right here, right now. And volatility in spades out here today, no doubt, man.
Yes. Man, yeah.
Yeah, and
50-point drop on the S&P last night in like 2 minutes.
That was intense, man. There's no, Steve and I were just talking about that. There's no doubt about it.
That's why you trade Nadex, because everybody's stops got hit if they were in long positions last night.
No doubt. No doubt. And, the volatility, what you have here today, folks, is that you got quad option expiration. And let me tell you something. It's going to be, to me, anyway,
going to have volume.
All we're going to need is volume. You get volume and we stay down, which I expect we're going to be staying down. That's your confirmation that guess what? And it's amazing. I mean, my take anyway. We're coming back anyway, but it's a riot. Between the fiscal cliff, between between the
just the stock chart itself, just the Apple chart,
between the politics. I know.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that they can't get anything done. And they're a bunch of schmucks. That's the real bottom line. They are.
Hey, no question.
Yeah.
Now the volume has subsided a little bit. Boy, that first 5 minutes in Apple, 4 million shares.
So let's
4 million shares out of it. So it's straight inside that swing point. So Apple's going to be I think Apple's going to be a key chart to watch today.
Oh, it is. There's no doubt. And so we're at 512. We're dealing with this could do it, man. I'll tell you, if this closes anywhere where it's at right now, it's going to be another problem come Tuesday morning. Monday. Well, let's see, Monday. So Monday's a half day.
Yeah.
This is jacking out the seasonals. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's the Mayan calendar. There's a whole change going on.
I know. Hey, look, they were great. Those stone carvers, they figured it out. They didn't know that there was going to be
a few more of those signals, man. We could have some good trades going on.
Yeah, thought they know it was going to be
listen to this.
Fiscal cliff market,
This is so funny. So last night we were at a Christmas party, and we're coming home. And, it was early. It was like only 9:30.
Yeah.
And one of Angie's girlfriends, she says, what if, just picture this, you got all these Mayans this many years ago, right?
Yes.
And, just like us, you're at a party one night, and he's sitting there, and he's drinking a few beers, right? And then he says, I'm tired. I'm going to stop right now.
So if you were to ask Mike, because Mike was having some technical problems this morning.
Okay.
And we were talking about the calendar, and I said, they just simply got tired. They just said, let's go have a few beers.
That is so funny.
I'm going to go have a few beers. That's it.
And that's common sense.
It is.
Right? I mean, that is common sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
that's my story.
Oh, listen.
That's your story. I like those stories.
No, I do too. Because, folks, when you can get it as common sense, that's the name of the game. Then there's a total understanding. There's not, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on? So,
absolutely.
Out here today, let's go look at that King dollar and see if she's going to, she rejected lower price 2 days in a row. Okay, so she's going to need a lot more juice than this, but 12,000 contracts is not bad. She's off the bottom. That's the bottom line.
Well, and the Euro's trying to get back inside the lower part of its range, so we'll see how this closes. You know, it gave that Dragonfly doji a couple days ago.
Yep.
You know, as it was testing the highs from May the 1st out there, May 1st, 2012. So when you have a doji, folks, at a area where there's resistance, just simply has more meaning. For my work, it has way more meaning than just somewhere in the middle of the move or what have you. So you got that, you know.
Say that again now.
Great.
Just say that. Okay. Explain that again.
Yeah, when a doji, usually doji doesn't, like a doji on the way down and a move down, to me, doesn't have a whole lot of meaning.
Okay.
And I don't look at it as a halfway marker or anything like that. Just doesn't have as much meaning. They have more meanings at support and resistance. As I go back and I take a look at doji candles, they have more meaning at resistance than any place else on a stock chart.
Interesting. Okay. Right.
And you know, and just simply by definition of the of a doji candle, from a Japanese, if you translate it, it's all about the market getting tired, starting to lose its way.
Okay.
Well, shoot, when you come into a resistance area,
that's right,
the market is suggesting that it's going to start losing its way anyways.
No doubt.
So when you get that additional confirmation between the bulls and the bears, it's very, very helpful out there. So you get the.
No, that's a great point. I'm with you.
Yeah,
that's a great point. I just wanted to get it straight in my own head what you're saying. That's cool, man.
Yeah. So a lot of everybody uses them for different people who use candlesticks. My use of these and going back and looking at thousands and thousands of charts, that's where they really have some meaning for you.
Right.
You know, it still doesn't mean that the market can't move higher. But boy, it is a real big. It's like driving down the street and the yellow light just came on. The question is, are you going to try and run through it? Are you going to stop? What are you going to do? In this case,
it's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, and because that's what it is. It's a caution light for sure.
Yes,
and it has more meaning up at resistance. Now today you're getting a little bearish engulfing candle, and all it really needs to do is get back down inside the the area where it had broken out of, which was in essence a September 14th. We can take a look at September 14th on so many different charts.
Exactly.
And so in this case here, it's the same thing for the euro. So you get it closed back underneath there, and you've got you got Monty is going to resign on Friday or something, next Friday, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's
that's the guy in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like,
the guy that's been running
New
Italy
Year's Eve,
again.
I just want to have one more party, and that's it.
No, totally. And listen, folks, if you are trading a Nadex product out here, we take a look at the S&P right now, and this is where the deal just gets so cool inside this product, because it's very minimal that you have to risk, and in order to basically, particularly on a high volume day like this. And like if we looked at the E-minis for a second, so your first spike up had let's see, so we had 130,000 contracts, and let me put this on a 2-day for a second, because what I would be doing here, which I'm already short, but basically if you're looking for something on a shorter term basis, this spike, all you need right now is you're at 14.25. 25, and let's see, is it going to make it to 14? Yeah, it can make it to 14.29. And that 14.29.50 would be the place that, as long as the volume's staying like this, and it is, meaning it's creeping up there, would be that okay, you sell the baby.
So Darrell, let's switch over to your analyzer, where you can pick out the, and we'll be able to, what's great is that we're able to go over to Darrell's charts. He can show us exactly how to use it, how to find the best trade setup.
Perfect.
Since we know what we're looking for. Darrell?
All right.
You out there?
Right here. You got it, man.
All right,
I got to pull it up. Yep. All right. So what we want to do is we want to pick our exact market. So we have a lot of different markets here. And let's see, which one we're going to focus on? The
ES. Let's
focus on the ES.
Okay, right.
Because you got a nice counter trend bounce happening right now.
I'm so used to you saying U.S. Tech, right?
No, you know what? We can do that too. You know what I did on this is funny on the U.S. Tech. I love the Nasdaq. Particularly, I like the Nasdaq because to me, Apple's the biggest move. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Meaning that. And what happens, folks, is that you always can get saved, by a big move, basically, So.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So on the ES Mini.
Okay, so the S&P E-mini, looking at a buy. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what we got over here is
I want to sell it. You can buy it. I'm selling it.
I sell it.
I already sold and bought.
I sell it at the
I'm
14.29 level.
Yeah, I'm selling it.
You're like, no.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so let's see here.
I only know how to buy houses.
The best trade we got going to 4:15 Eastern time is going to be right here. Has quite a bit of movement required, though. Has like a 7-point movement for break even on ES required because everything has already fallen so much.
Yeah. Okay. So So let's see. When did they put another one up? So that's 10.
Now we do have the temporary ones that you can go into. There is one that's right here. Is only a $30 risk. It goes to noon.
Oh, that's good. No, I like that.
Okay, perfect. That's only $27 risk. There's only a 2-point movement required.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah.
So okay, that'd be the 14:15 to 14:25.
Okay. One second.
The 12 o'clock expiration.
No, that's the number, man. That's you get an hour and 47 minutes. That's the number. The correlation. Let me have that again. We got the. So which one? Hold on.
15
to 14:25 on the 12 p.m. expiration for US 500. So basically US 500 noon expiration, and then it's the 14:15 to 14:25.
Well, just stay right there for a second. I'm having a hard time to see.
Now, one of the nice things, if you're on the scanner, is just to is you can literally just click the button, and it'll open the ticket for you immediately, so you don't have to find it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Whoa, man.
Okay.
The 1425. No, that's perfect. See, and what happens here, folks, is that's why the risk is so small. The top of that box is 1425, and that's what's absolutely crucial to understand. Now, you only can make money to 1415, and basically we had I can't count that spike down, but we've been as low. Well, this is a perfect one, man. You've been down to 1416, so that's the baby.
Yeah.
And so the risk is how much money here again?
$27, I think.
Yeah.
$26, $28 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. And so that's one of the nice things too. If you're in here and you're clicking the button, you don't even have to look for it, which is really helpful.
Yeah, no, that's huge, man. Okay, so you don't even have to click the button. Explain that to me again now.
Like, instead of having to go in over here and basically dive into this thing and go, okay, well, I got to find it. Which one is it? It's the indices. It's the US 500. Okay, it's that. Which one is it? Oh, it's that noon expiration.
Okay.
And it's the 14, 15, 14, 25. Okay, now I got to click here. Like, all that. Okay.
Right.
Instead of doing that, I literally just go over here and go, okay, this is the best spread.
I see.
Click.
And what's happening, folks, if you're in your car...
It just opened the ticket for me. So I didn't have to go through 12 clicks. I had one click.
Exactly. What we were just doing there is we're on Darrell's scanner versus the actual Nadex platform. And it automatically will bring it right in, which is really sweet. There's no doubt about it. So, and it's going to get interesting here. And one of the main reasons, folks, is this. You get the bounce going on. It's a good bounce. And in particular... The Europe was not down as much as it would seem that it should be down when our markets...
even Asia.
Even Asia.
Even Asia. Not too bad.
But that's the deviance, baby. That's the deviance. Meaning that it's going down, folks. This is the counter-trend bounce. This is the hope. This is the hope that Santa's going to be here. Well, guess what?
Well, Santa's still going to show up.
Santa's got cold. Darrell and Steve Rhodes, Tom O'Brien. You stay right there, folks. We'll come right back. We have the Dow down 86. Now,
what type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Darrell Martin, Steve Rhodes, Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling and prowling with us. We have the Dow right now down 94, NASDAQ off 31, S&P's off 15. And, hey, Darrell, you know, it's amazing. And, folks, you know, folks, I was just saying, well, I can't see it. I can't see it. So picture this. If you're watching Tiger TV, I have my glasses on. And I just realized, right, my left lens, there's no left lens in it. It's gone. No wonder why I can't see it. So I only got one lens right now.
That was a good Christmas party.
Oh, man. No, I think it must have happened on the way to work. I know my bag dropped, man. Unbelievable. Well, we got the right strike price anyway, man.
Yeah.
It's coming at us right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so Christmas time, slow markets next week. So we'll be even though markets are open on Monday, we're closed on Monday.
We're closed on Monday.
Be back bright and early on Wednesday morning.
That's right.
You know, it's still going to be a pretty light week. You got, you know, a lot of folks pretty much either taking off today in New York. So,
no doubt. No doubt.
So,
people Riching Friday. I mean, that just makes everything nuts.
Yeah, and I suspect though you're gonna deal with 2 or 3 hours here, and what you're gonna see, folks, is that as each minute ticks by, you're gonna start seeing more selling because what happens? So let's say it's 25 past. Yeah, they try to do it the first time. They'll try to do one more spike up there, see if they can get it going, and if they can get it going, God bless them, but my take is they're not going to, and then that'll be it. That'll be like, because you got to remember something. The last thing that a money manager wants to do is turn around and go home, okay?
Yeah.
And say that, oh man, do I want to wake up in the morning and, have it down 200 or 300 next week?
Sure.
When they don't have to take that risk. They can go right back in the market January 3rd or 4th. They don't have to take that risk. It's one of those deals. Should I take that risk or shouldn't I? And my bigger take is that they're not gonna, so.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. And so when you start taking a look at, we've had the correlation between the U.S. dollar index and the commodities kind of come apart, then maybe come back together a bit. But if we take a look at what is going on in the currency world, we were looking at the euro first.
Yes.
Okay, and so the euro looks like it's trying to get back into the bottom part of its range. The yen, U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, if you go to the longer-term chart on that, on the weekly chart, that's what I've got up on my screen.
Okay.
You can see really it's up against a horizontal resistance area as well. So it's also moving into a spot where we might start to see a pullback, which is going to put strength in the U.S. That will not put strength in the U.S. dollar. That'll offset some of the euro.
Well, that's what's so
However,
cool.
if it punches through this area, this is a pretty long-term trend.
And this is what's so wild. So watch, folks. What is wild here is that the yen is the second largest weighting inside the dollar index.
Yeah.
And what has happened is that the euro has gone up dramatically.
Yes.
And the dollar hasn't gone down dramatically. But it's because of the yen.
That's right.
Now, all that has to happen is that the euro pulls back, and then it's curtains, man.
Yeah, because you've got the euro is 57.6%, and the yen is 13.6%.
Right. You say that again? How much?
57.6 for the euro, and the yen is 13.6%. Yeah. So if the euro, that's where that euro, paying attention to the euro. So from a king dollar standpoint, when you take a look at the U.S. dollar index, you're saying, we need some more energy, to move on out of here, but it has rejected lows.
Yes.
And we know that commodities and everything are priced in dollars. Sometimes the correlations disappear. They have gotten killed. We take a look at, as you were saying, platinum was moving down.
Yeah.
Most certainly. So on the currency side, that's what we've got going on. How about the Nadex trading hours over the holidays, Darrell?
They basically mirror the market pretty close. So when I understand, they're going to be open Sunday, they'll be open Monday half day, they'll be closed Tuesday, they'll reopen on Wednesday.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. If we look at the GLD for a second, the Street Sharks Trust, what you have, folks, is this. So this is setting up another larger ABC down. It just finished one ABC down, right to the tick too, folks. It was 158, hit 158.39. Now what you have? So now what you have? Okay, you get a bounce. The bounce can't even get to the 160.90, which was the downdraft when it broke the B point, and that's sick. I mean, if you can't get up to that level, all that's doing is setting up another one to bring this thing down to 153, which is pretty intense, man. So we'll see where the deal's going to shake out. Meaning, was the commodity market right? Was the dollar right? My take is that the dollar they were both right, because the dollar's been going down. Well, no, the dollar's been going down on lighter volume. The commodity market on heavier volume.
The stock market catches back up to the commodity
S&Ps.
That's right. Yeah.
S&P's going to have the S&P's are probably having some of that herbal life. Darrell and Steve Rhodes. I was going to say Steve Jobs. Oh, my God. Well, you stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations, including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
Darrell Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Darrell Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Darrell Martin, Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes. Appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. Folks, if you haven't test drove the Nadex platform yet, let me tell you something, folks. You get volatility. You hear the ad that when we talk that your trade is to stop. You absolutely want to test drive this, folks, so you can understand how that works. Because in markets like this, and do not go over your head. As Darrell just said, that trade that we had just looked at, there was $27. Okay, you don't have to basically go over your head with. And where can you trade for $27 or $50? You can't. I mean, it's so weird. When the first time you were saying that, I'm saying, how does this work? And then of course, I'm up and live doing it now. It's like, this is amazing. I mean, it really is because and you don't. What happens, folks, just because one number's small doesn't mean the other number's going to be small. The thing you do got to be a little bit careful of, you say, because it's small, sometimes they say, well, give me 10 or 20 of them.
Yeah, no.
I'm so used to doing 20 or 30 of them.
Right.
And yeah, I do that sometimes. But, but you don't have to, because of the correlations. Like what you said, Darrell, is that you have so many different trades on at certain different times, which makes much more sense, folks, because then your probability, as long as you're not...
Well, when you take a look at the number of trades that you're actually able to do through the system,
right?
What it allows folks to do is, because they can open up an account, they can They could paper trade it for a bit if they want, or they can just simply trade smaller, just simply to build up their own system expectancy.
Exactly.
So they know,
exactly.
When they get 100 trades in there, you start to get 100 trades in on anything,
right.
and you use the same system to trade, it stays relatively consistent.
Right.
And that's what you do, and then it makes it easier to make sure you start to take a look at what is the best risk of your capital.
Exactly.
Per trade, and you just trade away.
Right. And that's where, folks, once you get that account open, go over and test drive Darrell's analyzer, because what does happen, it cuts to the chase ASAP. And you'll see...
It can take a 3-week learning curve down to a matter of, 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, and particularly because you get to see what is amazing is that you can have the exact same amount of money up, but you get 4 more hours and 15 minutes of the ability to make money.
Yeah.
When you're out of the money, which is crucial because, yesterday, the day before, Darrell, when I had a couple on, and I tried the binaries, okay, in the NASDAQ. And what happened is that on that downdraft, right, I missed one binary by 2 points. And it's wicked because when I set the trade up, I liked it because it was 7-1 on my money.
Okay.
Right. And all I needed. Anyway, the bottom line, I missed it by 2 points. But the sad part is that if I probably should have put a little more thought into it because there was one up from that and it was 5-1 on my money. I said, no, I think the 7 is, And what I was doing, what I always do, folks, is I was going for where. I'll bring it up right now so you can see what I did, because it closed at 92, so it was here, I think. Yeah, this is at 82. Yeah, but that's in the morning. Yeah, there it is. That's what it did. So it closed. This was on the 20th, and what I was doing. Let me bring this back 3 days so you can see where I was going for, folks. But it was minimal amount of money. Okay, so here it was. I had on the first get-go down at 940. Had a high volume bar there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did, I let it come all the way back up. And then I said, okay, I'll take a shot on that binary, going into it where I could have got it a little bit higher, and and I just went all the way down. But anyway, the amount of money put up versus what was made there was pretty cool. I didn't make money there, but it was only, I think it was $130, and it was 830 payoff.
Yeah. So that was for.
And I missed it by 2 points.
3 or 4 contracts.
And what I could have done, I think that was probably 10 or 20.
Could have closed it out, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could have closed it out during the day, but yeah, no doubt. But that's where, realistically, I could have had the same trade and like $135, and I would have took in like 435 for 5 S&P, 5 NASDAQ points higher, which, and that's where the deal comes in that you can't get greedy and.
Well, and the other thing is that when
it gets you, don't it?
And when people are actually first test driving the system,
right?
Okay, what they should also do is they should get Darrell's analyzer. That's at the point in time when they should get that, because so much of the work is done for you, and you're picking out really the best spread.
Yeah, if you try to test drive this without the scanner, you're gonna just feel lost.
It's a lot of work.
You know what happens? I can tell you what happens to me, and this is what you got to watch out for, I think. If you've been trading for a long time, you can get skewed on this, folks, because I always say, well, what's $100? What's $100? You see what I'm saying? Versus thinking that, okay, so that's all I was doing. I said, well, $135, we sneezed that. I mean, you know what I mean? So that is, depending where you are in the trading world, you got to stay cognizant of, okay, the percentages that you still are risking, because it's still real money.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And the break-even distance, too, because that's easy to
the break-even.
That's probably the number one thing for me on spreads, because the risk means nothing if the thing has to move 30 points.
Exactly.
I don't. It's $5 I'm throwing away. I don't care if it's only $5 risk.
Right.
So, but I'd much rather risk 10. It only has to move 3 points.
Yeah, big time.
And we're so trained as traders to go in and focus on risk. But there's, I tell people there's 3 types of risk here. Actually, in a way, there's sort of 4. But one is you have expiration time risk.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have break-even distance risk. How far does it have to move?
Okay.
All right. Then you have dollar risk.
Yep.
And then you have basically potential profit given up risk by choosing to trade that as the exact same risk, but one could make more money than the other, and so you give up all that potential profit. And so this helps you get all 4 of those easily, like in seconds, without having to do any math.
Yeah. So. Sweet.
I think it also what it's great for, especially for folks that trade different patterns out there, because you're trading intraday, and so take a look at silver here. So we think longer term, we believe that silver has is likely has further to go to the downside. But when you take a look at the pattern that it is at least set up on the daily chart here, it says that silver should stall here. You should see a little bit of a bounce. Now, I've got the daily chart up on my screen. It's it's a Tiger Gartley, because if we take a look at the B point on silver was November 5th. Right. Had 62,000 contracts, even though it came through there yesterday came through with 45,000 contracts. So not enough volume to bust it down. You got a 0.618 retracement, a 1.272 expansion. And so it's really great for a trade on on Nadex.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just simply for just a small bounce there.
Right.
So it's great to be, and you can do these on all different types of patterns, that are out there. And also here you get, it's just set up for a small little bounce out here. That's what we're seeing in silver. That's what we're seeing in gold. So.
Yeah, no doubt. And let's just, I'm just curious. What did happen yesterday, folks, and this is what is really dangerous in the gold and silver market, is that, so silver, I was talking about this a few months ago. What had happened is that on the gold, the GLD, that has been they've owned the most amount of gold in the GLD. Well, silver is the same deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, inside that ETF structure.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Right.
And what the problem is, folks, is this: is that you're not at highs, and that just means that there's more supply and demand.
I completely agree with
that. It's a big problem.
In fact, the point that you're making, because I always like to listen to what you say too.
Yes.
And is because of that, I think when we will see the low in silver, in gold, is when we see the big volume pushes inside those two ETFs.
Yeah, big time.
The flush out inside the SLV.
Big time.
And the GLD. Yeah.
Big time. There's no doubt.
I think that becomes the real big signal out there.
It does. It does.
Which is nice just to understand that correlation.
It is. And all is that, when you're hearing this, see, that's put the technical with the primary supply and demand force. And what's so sweet about the GLD and the SLV, you know what the numbers are.
That's right.
They get registered every day, folks. Every day. So it's like, okay, how do you own the most that you've ever had?
The most tons of, yeah.
And, it's off 30%.
Right.
Oh, really?
Right.
That just means that everyone is selling into it. Big time.
Yeah. And so then fundamentally that correlation says to me, okay, there's still more move to the downside.
Exactly.
One more big flush.
Yep.
And then when I start taking a look at the currencies, and let's say, okay, things are going to start coming back into line.
And when you're out, whether at the holidays and all that, folks, stay cognizant of the amount of folks that are basically saying, I still want to get into gold or silver. Last night we were at this party, had 3 different people say to me, and they don't even know that I'm in this market.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And I asked every one of them, have you ever owned it? No, I haven't owned it, but I'm going to buy it now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Yeah. There's no way they're going to make money.
Yeah.
My take is that we're going to go lower, and there's a 50% move coming higher, folks, on a bigger basis. But I can tell you just from experience in the marketplace, these are all folks that never got in at all.
Yeah.
They saw it go up, now they feel it's down, now they think it's ready to buy.
Yes.
And that's been the problem all the way down.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, I ask people, why are you buying it? Are you buying it as a hedge against inflation? Or are you buying it for an investment that you're trying to make money off of? And
insurance policy.
And I suppose, I guess we're over the currency issue for the end of the world. You don't need that part of it.
It never
anymore,
really
right?
hit big. It never really hit big. It didn't. Which it very well could have. I mean, there's no doubt. It absolutely could have.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit big.
Yeah. So from a inflation hedge,
right?
Then whenever you buy it, it works.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's a whole different mentality that you're buying it for. Then I'm I can show you how it works because U.S. dollar index goes. If the U.S. dollar goes up and your other commodities that you consume go down, you're in the same place.
No, absolutely. And there's no doubt.
You can't lose.
We're at 1658. 3 years we're going to be at 2250. I mean, that's I think 2250 is on the deal there, and I don't think that's going to be expensive 3 years from now, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it has to do with...
Especially the velocity of cash that's sitting out there when it does come into the marketplace.
Well, hey, you know what's going to happen? So watch what's going to happen, folks, at the end of this year. Now, the amount of money, cash, that's in the banks right now it's the most that's ever been. There's a program that expires December 31st.
Okay.
And what it is on commercial accounts, you can be 100% guaranteed if it doesn't matter how many millions you have in the bank. That expires, folks, December 31st. Now, what's going to happen is a couple different things that are going to happen. People that have more than 250 grand are going to start shifting money all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do they shift anything into physical commodities or the market, or just shift it from bank to bank to bank? But you're going to see a huge amount of movement next week, because everyone was waiting for, I was particularly waiting for, okay, are they going to leave it in? Well, they didn't leave it in. They didn't pass it last week, and they're not going to.
Okay.
It's over. They're not going to.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a guarantee. So what happens is that when you do have more than that in a commercial account, you got to move it. You don't have to move it, but people are going to move it.
Right.
Because it's like, well, why keep that in there? Hey, it's going to get interesting between ICE taking over the New York Stock Exchange.
Yes.
The dinosaur is dead.
Yes.
The dinosaur is dead.
No question.
Technology. Yeah, technology, man. Darrell's analyzer. That's it. Darrell's analyzer's taking over the world, man. Well, no, think about it. I'm not totally serious, too. You know why? Because I've seen it, how, I've always electronic trade, okay? And I saw it when there was only 50 or 60 of us doing it in the country, and then I see it now.
Yes.
And this guy's been in business only 11 years, 11 years.
Yeah,
this guy came out of the paper business.
Yeah.
He came out of the paper business, and he was looking at the oil market. He says, "Man, this deal, okay, in the stock market makes no sense, because I believe the part of the paper business he was in, it was the pulp. I mean, they're working on really narrow margins, folks. Okay, and he's saying, "Hey, how is the spreads this big in the oil market?" Right?
Yeah.
Bottom line is that in 11 years, he has managed to be the biggest. And this whole deal about having human beings taking something out of the middle stops because the machines take less.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the jobs lost up there are going to be intense, though. It's a shame, but the jobs lost there's no doubt. And he must have. The thing is wild about this one is that you don't hear a lot of flack. The last time when the NASDAQ was taken over the NOS, there was a huge amount of flack. This time here, they must have already paid off these congressmen or something. Someone's. No, seriously. You know what I mean? Because the PR is not out there.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he paid. I know he did. He paid off Niederhofer because. Because that's how these corporate deals take over. Because I just realized it. Because what's going on is that they're taking him over, but they're giving him the CEO position.
Yeah, they're giving the president. Yeah, they're making him president.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll last about 5 days. No, I'm only kidding. He'll last about 5 weeks. No. 877-927-6648. You can see the market's trying to make it, folks. But let me tell you something. 10:49 Eastern Time. No way, Jose. This is I just took the second shot to try to make it. The market has. I think that's probably it. Here, let's pull it up. This is Darrell and Steve Rhodes. Tom O'Brien, appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. We have the Dow right now down 109, NASDAQ off 32, S&P's off 15. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success, and it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of tfnn.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
Welcome back, folks. Darrell, Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes. We appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Right now, you get the Dow off $126, Nasdaq down 35, S&Ps are down 16, and let's see what we have for some of the higher volume stocks out here, and we'll find out whether it's going to be a high volume or low volume market. Research in Motion, that's getting smoked. That's down $2. We got ExxonMobil off $135. Of course, Apple is down 6. The rest of these aren't down that bad. It's a lot of red, but they're really not down that bad.
No, really. And I just switched over to the New York Stock Exchange. I think this, it's been the strongest chart out there.
Yep.
And as far as the indexes are concerned, it went up and tested the September 14th high. Today, what it's done and what it's held so far is the December 18th, that little gap up on December 18th. So it'll be key as to whether or not it closes below that, which is 84.1607. I suspect that it will. I suspect we're going to see a large push going down into the close today. Look, you shared the most fundamental thing out there, which was people don't have to take the risk here for the next week.
Right.
The risk versus reward just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, they're up. I mean, it's like, okay, you're going to leave the money on the table or not?
If you've had the rally, you've had the nice rally since November 16th.
Yes.
Out there. And so the gifts came a little early this year, that's all.
And what you absolutely know, so check this out. This is what we do know right now. If, in fact, they don't,
solve something.
Yeah, well, capital gains just went from 15 to 20.
Absolutely.
So this 5% that you're going to make to break even.
No, absolutely.
Boy, I wonder when that's going to stop.
No, it doesn't affect all those folks, for their retirement accounts. I mean, there doesn't make a difference, one way or the other. But still, I think you laid out the fundamental aspect.
I tell you, it's going to be wild just watching how this whole thing shakes out. If I'm, I guess you learn something every day, but you get 435 men and women that are selfish beyond belief.
Oh.
Yeah, seriously. Is there 300 million people in our country, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
335 million people.
You get 435, folks that, are not doing their job. That's the bottom line. No matter which way you look at it, that's the bottom line. It's crazy.
You and I need to go there. We'll take it over. We'll run that baby.
You know what?
And all the other tigers and tigresses out there.
I just couldn't
the
be
job that we could do.
Well, you know what? This is the sad part too. And watching the, when you ever watch The Good Wife?
No,
okay,
but that's
so the Good Wife, folks, has this guy. Is his name Eli? Eli takes care of all the campaigns, right? And it's amazing, folks, watching this guy because this guy is just like so nasty. But it's when I'm looking at it, I'm speculating that that's exactly how it is. Yeah. But it's just amazing. Yeah. I mean, they just look people in the face and say, no, we're going to do this. Yeah. We're going to do. I mean, just it. And it's almost like they're taking something and they're marketing something, and they don't care how it's going to get spun. They're going to spin it, period, to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, what they think is to win.
Yeah.
What they call winning. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, great point. Great point, guys. That's a great point. Right. Well, it's winning for them and the rest of us lose. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go over and we take a look at the...
How some of the mining stocks holding up? Which I think getting crushed out there?
Well, let's start with Gold Corp because Gold Corp was coming into. That's good. Okay, so Gold Corp. See, Gold Corp, come down from this $47. You're at 35. It was coming into a place where it very well, could hold up, and it's just slowing down a bit. I suspect it's going to get a little lower, but it's starting to slow up. You stay right there, folks. We are going to be going right from here up to Newton, Massachusetts to get Basil Chapman, Larry Pizzavento, Tucson.
Nico today.
Oh, Nico. So we're going to get you healthy. Get you healthy, baby.
Take care, folks.
Have a great one. Have a safe one. Thanks, Darrell.
Thank you.